Let's get the sentiments of employers and business leaders. Joining us now on the phone is George Barcelon, President of the Philippine Chamber of Commerce and Industry and Vice President of the Employers Confederation of the Philippines. Good morning, George. Thank you for taking our call.
Good morning.
Okay, George, could you tell us what are your thoughts on this proposed 4-day work week? Are you in favor of it? Why and why not?
Well, I think as far as the work schedule, it's better not to be legislated and leave it to the private sector for them for some flexibility. I can understand that they're hoping to, soften the blows of the increase in fuel prices. That may be true, but we just came out with this from COVID pandemic. And a lot of companies already have, in a way, got accustomed for the employees to be working from home. Now, that being said, many sectors naman na cannot, construction, manufacturing, some retail service, and the likes. That cannot be, they cannot work from home ever since. Even during the quarantine, they were exempted as far as the necessity, agri, medical related. So that in itself is hard to compress it into 4-day week. No? At saka, dyan, baka mas sobrang pagod yung magagawa. The other thing is, some factories have 3 shifts, no? One a day, 24 hours. Ginawa mo na yung 2 shift, paano ba yung third shift mo? Wala. So those are some of the implications from the private sector side, manufacturing side. The work from home or to return to the work premise, this is affected by especially those in the PESA kasi may incentive sila they get incentives. That's why the DOF felt that it's about time they go back. But that's only 1 point something million throughout the Philippines.
Right, and of course the workforce is much, much bigger than that. But, jumping off from what you were saying, George, how do you think this schedule, if ever it's implemented, will affect the productivity of employees and the output of businesses in general?
I think it will affect. We have asked a lot of members. They felt that there's pro and con, no? Because the employees now that they have in a way show that they can maintain productivity, working from home, when they're traveling, when they're commuting, masyado matraffic, they waste about an hour and a half or 2 to 3 hours a day. So we have heard employees resigning because the company asked them to come back to work because they say it's too far. Working from home, there's more time for the family. But actually, when they say there's more time for the family, at that time, nakakulong lahat sa bahay, mga anak na sa bahay rin But now, the return, I'm sure down the line, will return to school, no? Meron din yun. So, the situation on this traffic, how can you have a 4-day week for studying? Mahirap din. So, I would leave that scheduling of work to the private sector. They have been able to work it even during the extreme times of COVID pandemic.
Right. One option for the private sector is to extend the work from home scheme. Can you talk to us about the advantages and disadvantages of that? Because we understand, there are some employees who work very well at home, are very productive there, and others really just can't, bring on the output that they would if they were in the workplace.
Yes, that's true. But any company would already be using some matrix, no? Now, if you cannot work from home while others can, it doesn't mean that when we bring you back, you will perform well. Okay, so those are the things that maybe some less distraction pag nasa opisina kaysa nasa bahay. So it's really up to the employers and employees, I think. Okay. Wherein we as employers, we like to have it a win-win, no? Na masayang empleyado namin, kami rin, na less burden. One thing that is linked to this, no? We're looking at possibility of increasing yung pamasahe. Okay? And that may happen because the fuel prices has gone up. But you should remember, yung fuel price up and down, it goes through cycle. If you look back, itong last few weeks, aray, pataas ng presyo ng crudo. But you should remember a couple of months back, baliktad, bababa naman. If you look at our chart, because I look at the chart of the past 10 years, yung fuel price, you can see a big portion of that, almost 60% of the last 10 years, is fluctuating up, down, at a lower level.
Right.
What had happened now is the geopolitics in the Russia-Ukraine war. So, having said that, that can be temporary. And help those pieces, hindi natin makabawi, hindi natin ibalik kung bumaba ng crudo. So, I think to be patient, no? Better rather than react too fast.
Right, a bit more of a wait and see depending on how the situation unfolds overseas. All right, thank you so much, sir. We do appreciate your time here on New Day. That was PCCI President George Barcelon.